Hey everybody, welcome to Friday PM. I'm really excited here on a rainy day to have a friend to the show, Cody Curtis. Do you always do your middle name as well?
I do. Well, for performative stuff and acting stuff, yeah.
Yes. What's your full with the middle name always?
I'm going to look at the camera for this.
Yes.
My full name is Cody Alexander Curtis.
Cody Alexander Curtis. I just call him Cody all the time. Cody's a friend of the show. We've had him on a few times, probably last fall, talking about some future projects.
Yeah.
But it was a rainy day. We were working on a couple other things together, and we thought we'd have him on tonight as well to find out a little bit more about what you've been doing and what's upcoming for you.
Yeah. So, I mean, basically, first thing, most surprising thing, I'm actually on a bit of a break right now.
Okay.
From everything, just because, for those of you who don't know, I started working on creative, specifically film-related stuff in 2018, and I just have not stopped. Whether it was theater or film stuff or features or spec pilots or what have you, it's one project or the other, and now I am officially on a little bit of like a 1 month break.
A little bit of a break.
Yeah, to give my brain and my body just a chance to rest from everything.
Well, so what I find interesting is you're kind of multifaceted in the sense that we all know you as an actor, but you also are directing stuff and you're writing. Like what are all, and I assume producing too.
Yeah.
Like so you wear all those hats or?
Yeah, well, the funny thing is that I did my last directing project back in the summer of 2024, last year.
Okay, yeah.
That feels like a million years have passed by. But that we actually talked about it the last time I was here. There was the little micro short Night Terrors, which is still in post-production right now. But after that project was done, I was like, there's a lot of people can wear multiple hats. And for me, I found the directing cap is something that I cannot wear and do everything else well.
Yes,
I'm very effective in terms of being a producer because I love talking to people and I love communication. I am very good with writing. I've been writing since I was a little kid and it's one of my passions. And then I've always been an actor. So I can wear all those hats, but being a director, it's a bit much for me.
Right, yeah. Yeah, I mean, it is. And especially because have you had a lot of projects where you were the director and doing it behind the scenes, but also just weren't acting at all? Or did you always have to try to do a little bit of both?
I think in total, the first film I directed, I didn't act in. And then one of my college senior film projects, I also did not act in, but I directed. But other than that, it's like every film I have directed, I have acted in and wrote and produced.
Because I remember that one, I believe, that was a feature length, right? Was that the one that you had directed and written?
That was Suffocation.
Like that long, with all, what was it called? Suffocation,
Suffocation,
right? Okay.
Yeah. I also acted in that too.
Yeah, so that one,
That was a very stressful process.
Yes.
Like I went from doing my first directorial project, which was a short, to doing a feature in the middle of COVID with all the rules around it to keep the production safe. And it was, I would not go. I'm glad I had the experience. I learned a lot, but I would not go back and do it again.
Yeah. That seems like it's a lot. Doing feature lengths, longer, getting everybody together. In some ways, maybe COVID was even a blessing, as we had seen in the movie that we collaborated on. The blessing of it was that everybody was locked down. So when it came to like talent, there wasn't so many other competing interests.
Yeah.
Because I noticed when we did Downey's Christmas together that it was like everybody had that one little window of time before they all got back doing other things, like work-wise and everything. So what we really want to talk about, though, too, is you've got a project upcoming that looks pretty exciting, and I wanted you to tell everybody a little bit about it, and also the Instagram, if they go on there.
Absolutely. And I'll plug the Instagram at the end of this. But there's a film that me and my creative partner, Angelina Buselli, we're going to be making a proof of concept based on a feature script that we wrote together called Whatever It Takes. And in terms of a short premise, I'll get to a bit of the breakdown in a sec.
Okay.
But the premise that we're going to the public with is it's a story about a young woman named Jessica whose sister was kidnapped and she's missing for like 6+ months. And at the point of this story, it seems like the case is like dying down, and nobody's really putting any emphasis on it anymore. But she gets wind of a place where her sister might be, so she goes there.
Okay.
And when she gets there, she finds these very shady characters, and she believes, maybe it's just hope, maybe it's something else, that these are the people that took her sister. And so she voluntarily allows herself to be kidnapped in the hopes of finding her sister, and also to see if her suspicions are confirmed. Now, as far as this story goes, I started writing this story 5 years ago. And it was basically a completely different story at the time. There was a lot of different information, a lot of different things that was sort of going on in my personal life that I was going to put into a feature script. But then I talked with a friend of mine, and I had bits and pieces of like a kidnapping story within this different story. And my friend was like, you know what? This is actually, there is some really compelling stuff here, and you should focus on that. And so I did. I took up until I met Angelina, so like 3.5, 4 years, and just honed that. And me and Angelina met because we had a mutual connection of growing up in the state of Maine. We were both living in Georgia at the time. And the script, it was once known as Remission. That was the original title. And it won a couple of festivals. And Angelina and I had met at that point, and she looks right at me and goes, you know, I think you have a script you need to share with me.
Yeah.
And so I shared it with her, and she was about to go on Christmas break for 2 weeks. And she informed me, she read the script every single day that she was on vacation. And it was there for me. I was like, she loves this script. She is as passionate about I am about it.
Yeah.
I think I'm going to bring her on to be my collaborator on this.
Okay.
And the rest is history. Because for the past 20 months, we not only worked together to tighten up the feature script, which has been doing wonderful, and we're so grateful that it's been accepted in the festival circuit as much as it has, because we've gotten feedback from Slamdance, from the Beverly Hills International Film Festival, from Chicago Screenplay Fest. It's like, and everybody is lots of good feedback and lots of good praise for the script. And we started putting together the plan to put together the proof of concept for it at the beginning of this year. And we are gonna be filming it at the end of August. And as far as people who are not aware what a proof of concept is, we're going about it a bit differently. Because a good portion of the time, when people think of a proof of concept, what they think of is basically a condensed version of a 115 page script, something like that. And what we've done is we've gone more sort of the television pilot approach, which is what a proof of concept is meant to be. It's taking a certain portion of whatever this feature script is, translating it to be a proof of concept, or sort of a tease for what you want to tell in the future, and then sort of marketing it to the masses to see what people say. And it's not just for the feature script, but as we've been going along to get this thing made, the support from professionals, from colleagues, from friends and family and strangers, it's just been across the board. This is an interesting story, and you need to get this made. It's basically been the feedback that we've received.
Yeah, I mean, I remember back when I was a kid in the 80s, they used to have TV movies that it was like this one movie for like Miami Vice, and it was like a 2-hour movie, but it got everybody excited. And then if that movie went well, which it usually would, because they already kind of knew, then they would turn it into a series. And so it gets you so excited because it's giving you that tease for it. So I want to talk about where it's going to be filmed, you know, all the different things.
Of course.
But I think the question is so this, you're going to condense the whole story into the short, or are you going to have just a piece?
It's funny because it's like traditionally with a proof of concept, most of the time that's what people think of as condensing the whole story. What we're doing is we're taking the scene right before the title card in the feature script, and we've just sort of morphed it a little bit so that it can be its own condensed 10-page, 9-page story. And so it's, instead of it being the whole script, it's just this one tiny portion that has been morphed to not only create something that is entertaining to watch, but gets interest, and also it's just been a joyous process to work on. And I have to once again just give a major shout out to Angelina Buselli, my creative partner in this, because if it was not for her, we would not be where we are right now. Her passion, her drive, her ability to sort of take the reins when it comes to a lot of stuff. She understands the more like logistical business side of things, of what we need to do on the more technical side of everything. And she's sort of taken the reins on that, and everything where we are right now, I gotta attribute to her, because she has put in so much time and effort and everything, and she has a knowledge of stuff that I just do not understand. And so I've sort of let her take in the reins on stuff.
It's like you're the fire and she's the glue.
Yeah, and
You know what I mean?
it's true. And she's also gonna be directing the proof of concept,
and she's going to be directing it.
Yeah.
But you'll be the lead actor in it.
We're actually the way that the feature is set up, but also the proof of concept, it's sort of a co-lead situation.
Well, it does feel like it would be a female lead, right?
Yeah,
the woman.
It is. It's the story is, in its essence, the feature and the proof of concept slightly. It's a story about generational trauma and mental health and family and violence against not just women, but violence against people in general. And it's one of those things where we agreed that because a good portion of the story, the lead character, Jessica, it's a female-led story for most of it. And so we agreed that it's important that it does have a female director's eye. And also that'll bring me to my next point, is we also agreed for that for most of our major heads of crew. Our director of photography is a friend of ours, Sarah Massey. Our assistant director is Mariah LaRoque, who's a friend of the show here. Yeah. And then also our hair and makeup specialist is Bailey Hall. We have so many wonderful people on board with this thing, and we have an intimacy coordinator. Now, for those of you who do not know in terms of what an intimacy coordinator is traditionally used for, because I know it can be a little confusing at times. Traditionally, intimacy coordinators are brought in for more intimate, more spicy settings, for lack of a better word, to make the actors feel comfortable in the move with it. And for me, it was important. There is no spicy section in the proof of concept. However, we are dealing with a very intimate relationship between the two leads, between me and Angelina, and we're also dealing with a story about kidnapping, and there is a kidnapping scene within this story. And so it was important, not only to me, but also to Angelina, that we have a specialist on board that through these sort of harder sections that we have to film, everybody feels comfortable, because it's with this subject matter, there's no getting around it. It can be very uncomfortable if the right things are not in place. And so we want everybody to feel safe, to be comforted. And that's why we have Campbell Gibson, who's a dear friend of mine, who is an intimacy coordinator, and she's helping us out in that aspect.
So now the question that everybody wants to know, is Cody playing a sympathetic character or a villainous character? Because we've seen you play both in different times.
That's true. I am playing a sympathetic character. This is in the feature and in this. The best way I can describe it, the character that I am playing, he is a sympathetic character, but he's a sympathetic character with a very dark past. Like, without going into details, because it's not necessarily in the proof of concept in terms of the history of my character, because the proof of concept for the most part is all about the lead character of Jessica. But the character Jennifer, I forgot, we changed the names.
Because, Jennifer,
it is, because one of the things, it was originally, the feature script takes place in the 80s, and so we were just sort of going to leave the names as they were originally planned. But Angelina brought up a good point, and that is, if we're going to make this period accurate, even for the proof of concept, we need to make the names accurate to the time period, which is, it's these tiny details. They might seem insignificant, but in terms of telling a story, it's these things are important. So my character Matthew, he's a sympathetic character who thinks he's doing the right thing, but he also has a history that is not very pleasant.
Now, what was the time frame again of it that you're saying? It's taking place in what time frame?
So the proof of concept itself, there's no specific time frame given to it. It's just about the story. The feature script takes place in the 80s.
In the 80s, okay, yeah. Yeah, I think that's a whole other thing, because again, that's when you get to that level, then you have to start doing hair, makeup, wardrobe.
Yeah.
That adds a lot of things. Like, but you know, do you watch shows like Stranger Things and different ones?
It's like time period things they have substantially come back into the public eye.
Yeah.
And for us, this wasn't even when we were working on the feature script, this wasn't even like a public eye what's popular decision. This was, if we think about stories of kidnapping, especially in the 21st century, how many times do any one of us get those Amber Alerts on our phones that is like, oh, somebody's gone missing, and then in less than 24 hours it's solved.
Right.
And so we agreed, if we're going to tell this story, we can't do it in modern day, because if we do, people are going to catch on and they're going to be like, that's not believable, I don't believe the story, and we're not really going to be able to push past the barrier so we can get the story told that we want.
Yeah. I mean, I think there was a big, very fearful time in those days. Of that
people went missing all the time, and nothing was. I mean, either cases couldn't be solved, people weren't doing anything about it, or it's like the number, specifically the number of women that went missing in the 80s. It's terrifying to look at those numbers, and it's just. Angelina and I have a running joke since we've been working on all of this, that more than likely the FBI is going to come knocking on our door based on the research we had to do for this.
Trying to see what your web searches were. Or something, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, I think that was a transitional time between when people really felt comfortable and safe, like, for example, with their kids playing outside without supervision. And it was things have changed now, you know, where everybody's more vigilant. And so it creates a good kind of tense atmosphere, because that's right on that fringe of when there was still that innocence from before that, right? And then it was all changing very rapidly. So go ahead.
Yeah. So basically, I mean, you're 100% right.
Yeah, it was like a very weird time.
And we talked a brief about what the time period is. For us, for the proof of concept, it's important to just get a hint across of what we want to do in the feature. And that comes down to like hair and wardrobe and character names and just giving people a taste of what is to come without saying, oh, this is without a doubt in the 80s, or this is without a doubt where people are. Or I mean, we've got a lot of things in place, and a lot of those things I'm not going to spoil.
Right, exactly. Keep a few things secret. But you're shooting this in August, you said, correct?
Yeah, we are shooting end of August.
And you're totally, like, anybody who's probably going to be out there that's wants a role or something, you're cast up already. Yeah. Maybe some spots for background people.
Oh, not for the proof of concept. We are going to have that discussion when we move on to the feature. But as of right now, because it is so small and the story is so contained, we've had our crew and our cast locked down since the end of February of this year. Right. And there's a lot of truly remarkable people who are on board. In terms of just talking about the cast, obviously me and Angelina, we are playing the leads of the story. But then my good friends Matthew Delameter and Liz Bishop are both a part of the cast, who between those two alone have more than 70 years of acting experience, like combined. And they've had the chance to work with some truly, truly remarkable people. And for any of you who are wondering where you can learn about sort of the bios and the work history of all the people I'm going to be talking about, we do have an Instagram page that is called Find Tessa Film, and it's FindTessa FILM. It's right on Instagram. It's if you go to me and Angelina's Instagram pages, mine is _Cody_Curtis. You'll be able to find tabs that take you directly to the page. Right. And so we also have Alex Javo, who is, he's a close personal friend of mine, and he's Angelina's partner. He's been working in the film scene for like a decade now. And he is, I would say, if there is someone, same thing with Matt Delameter, who I would say, if there is a perfect man, I don't think you can find somebody better than Alex
Right,
Jamo.
yeah.
Like he
Nice
is
guy.
not only hardworking, he's also a filmmaker of his own right and a tremendous force as an actor. He's been doing this for a while, and he always has such great input. And then we have their friend Kylie, we have sort of a unit that's going to be filming stuff in Atlanta that's sort of offshoot from what we're doing up here.
Okay.
Which I'll say that for another time, but
Yes.
in terms of our crew, we already have like the female heads of crew who I've talked about, but then we also have Jason Smith, who's going to be our gaffer. We have Bodie Ouellette, who is going to be helping Sarah in the camera department as her assistant camera. We have obviously Bailey Hall and Campbell Gibson, and then we have Corwin Staff, who's going to be a second assistant camera for us. It's like, once again, I could go down the rabbit hole of talking about each person we have on our cast and crew individually, but I feel incredibly blessed and fortunate that everything is sort of set up the way that we want it to be.
And the good thing about how comprehensive the Instagram is, you can find out on each of them have their own specific kind of beats and pages. I thought I saw on there. Yeah, so
they do.
You guys did a really good job with that.
And it's not over. I mean, even now as we're filming this, Angelina, thankfully, I've got some personal stuff going on over the next couple of weeks, so Angelina has agreed to take in the reins on sort of handling our marketing and social media. But I've been giving her a couple of things here and there, and it's just, there is more stuff planned for down the road. And as far as if anybody wants to support the film and what we're trying to do with it, I mean, all the information is right there on the Instagram page.
Instagram, yeah. Awesome. All right, well, this sounds like a lot of fun. Check this stuff out. Was there anything else we missed?
I don't think so.
Yeah,
I think I also, the other thing is, I just want to give a big shout out to Jerry Walker, who is our location manager, but he's also kind enough to allow us to use his land and his property, because he's been, I want to give a shout out to him because he's been in the arts forever, and he is such a kind soul.
Awesome.
And he's got a wealth of stories, a wealth of knowledge, and it's just, if it wasn't for Jerry, it would probably be a lot harder to get this story made.
Exactly. So let's say thank you, Jerry, out there.
Thank you, Jerry.
I want to thank you, Cody. Appreciate it so much. Since we've been talking, the rain has stopped. It's a beautiful day in the summer out. Hopefully you've had a nice Friday, but we'll be right back after this. I want to thank Cody again. I know he's coming back when this thing is in the can, so we can talk about it some more.
Yeah, absolutely. Once we are finished and it is in post-production, I'll be coming back, and maybe, just maybe, I'll be able to get Angelina with me.
And that would be awesome. I appreciate that too. Thanks again. We'll be right back.